The Pacific Palisades is a neighborhood on the west side of Los Angeles, right between the Santa Monica Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. It is one of the nicest neighborhoods in Los Angeles, not just in my opinion, but in the opinion of the residents, in the opinion of people living nearby, probably in the opinion of people living an hour away as well. It is definitely the top of the top when it comes down to neighborhoods and areas to live in Los Angeles specifically. And in this video, I'm just going to go over some of the specific streets. I'm going to show you the map of the Palisades, what to expect if you're going to be visiting, driving around, if you're going to be in LA for a few days, just checking out the areas, interested in buying a home out there, renting, or maybe living there and predicting what your future home and neighborhood will be like down the road. If it's your first time on this channel, my name is Darren Kriz. My team and I help buyers, renters, sellers, and investors every day out here in the city find their dream home, find a place to settle down, or find an area to park their money, because real estate is always a great investment in the long term, no matter what kind of market we're in. But here we go. Check out this map with me down here in the Pacific Palisades. Boom. So here is Los Angeles in general, the greater LA County. As you look closer down to Beverly Hills and Santa Monica, we see the west side of Los Angeles. If you're not familiar to LA, this might be a little hard for you to follow, but if you know LA, obviously you know west of the 405 is technically considered the west side of Los Angeles. So let's just zoom in down here to the Pacific Palisades. So it is this specific area. Let me just show you a border of what the Pacific Palisades would look like. Everything inside the red lines here is the Pacific Palisades in general. Pacific Palisades does consist of a lot of different neighborhoods. I do have videos on my channel showing you the streets of the neighborhood, me driving around the Palisades, as well as all the specific individual neighborhoods such as the Riviera, the Alphabet Streets, everything in between as well, Rustic Canyon. So one cool thing about the Palisades is that it does feel like its own city in general when you're living there or just visiting. It doesn't feel like Los Angeles, how all the other neighborhoods would be in LA. So one cool thing is to get to, let's say, the Palisades Village, you have to take San Vicente or Sunset and then take a little interesting route by Patrick's Roadhouse. Let's say you're on PCH. As you go up this road right here, and then you arrive to this neighborhood called Rustic Canyon. So here in Rustic Canyon, you have the reservoir right here, which they are going to have a little moat. Actually, they've been developing this for like the past 2 years. There's a little moat running through right here that makes it look amazing, and all of these homes are on the bluff, actually, that overlook this space and have amazing views. This is Rustic Canyon. Pretty expensive homes over here. It's gonna cost you at the low end $3 million and up to $10 million or so here in Rustic Canyon. But you can see there's a rec center right here, and then you can walk from the rec center to the Palisades Village, which is technically Palisades, the downtown part of Palisades. Right next to that, Palisades High School, football stadium, and this is just the central location of the Palisades. The cool part about the Pacific Palisades, you have Bay Theater, which is pretty historic. Let me show you a street view of this right here, because it's pretty cool. As you go down this street, boom, Bay Theater right here. You go down, there's a stop sign. This is the village where everyone's going to be dining, eating. There's this really cool statue of this guy pledging his allegiance to the Bay Theater, which is pretty interesting. But as we look on this side, just a bunch of little shops. They give you more of a small town feel, more so than like the big city vibes of living in Los Angeles or a downtown area. You can see Bay Theater as you're going down the streets here. And as you keep coming along, let me just show you what it's like back on the maps up here. That's just a little part of the village. Let me show you down where there is the Chipotle, a couple cafes, Starbucks. I mean, this is just the architectural design of the shops in the area. It's not just your standard retail like you might see on Melrose or Fairfax. There is just such a different vibe. You're not going to see any homeless at all in this neighborhood. And then, boom, there's your local Starbucks on the corner. Going down this street, just your local banks. It really gives you an East Coast, Cape Cod style feel when you're just looking at the retail stores right here on Sunset. And as we keep driving down this way, like I said, this brings you into the village. It goes down to the theater right there. But enough of that. Let me show you some of the rest of the area. As you keep going up Sunset, that will bring you to the more expensive part of the Palisades, the neighborhood known as the Riviera, where there's pretty much just more so expensive homes than you'd even see in the smaller streets of the Alphabet Streets, where the Village is. The good thing about the Alphabet Streets is that you can walk to Palisades Village, but the streets are very narrow, so it's going to be hard a lot of the times to pass people on the streets or just drive up and down your neighborhood, whereas in the Riviera, it's little more elevated. You have bigger streets, big sidewalks, big homes, but there's not many shops that you can walk to. Obviously, it comes with the privacy of being in the Riviera. It is right next to the Riviera Country Club, which they did just have the PGA Golf Genesis Invitational event. Tiger Woods played in that tournament right here at the Riviera Country Club. I did go to the event. It is unreal. If you guys live in LA, anywhere in LA, you should go to that event at least once a year or once in your lifetime. Experience that for yourself. You can see all the nice homes from the golf course as well, just overlooking the golf course. And that is where you'll find the Riviera, some of the more expensive communities. But let's head up to the Summit up here. The Summit, this is where you're going to find lower end, as in lower end, maybe $1.5, $2 million condos up in the mountains of the Palisades. It doesn't really get that much recognition because it's very deep from pretty much everything. If you're going to be living in the Summit, you're going to be doing most things up there within the communities of the area. There are great hiking trails, so I know a lot of maybe people that have retired want to settle down, but they can't afford $5 million homes. They'll come up to the Summit and live in one of these condos. There is an HOA. You have all the necessities that you'd want if you're living within a community. You have tennis courts, great hiking trails. If you're active and in your 60s, 50s, wanting to retire or whatnot, you can still live a great, healthy, active lifestyle up in the mountains of the Summit. And then just go down to the beach. That's not a terrible hike either. Well, it is kind of a terrible hike. It's pretty far to get down to the beach from up there, but it can potentially be done. All these other neighborhoods, Ridgeview Estates, this is all now getting closer to Malibu, Castellamar, which is where the Getty Villa is. The Getty Villa Museum, which is really cool. You can see it has this, if you look up some of the photos online, this famous fountain in the heart of the garden, the courtyard right there in the Getty Villa. I actually took a field trip to the Getty Villa when I was in middle school, and so we got to experience the Roman and Greek life, the architecture of the historic Getty Villa when I was maybe 12 years old. But then you have, as you keep going, now this is considered Malibu, this neighborhood right here, and there you get all the benefits of living in Malibu, even though the homes aren't as Malibu as you might think, the extravagant modern homes. You can afford some sort of town home in the $1.5, $2.5 million price range. And then Mastro's Ocean Club, one of the most famous and popular restaurants in Malibu, right along the ocean. Insane views right there. You got to book a reservation probably a month early to make sure you lock in your spot there. But that's technically in Malibu, so we're not going to be talking about that. So Will Rogers State Beach. Down here is the main beach of the Palisades, which is not as crowded as you would see Santa Monica. You can easily make your way over to the beach on nice days. Find people hanging out, playing beach volleyball, playing spike ball, running around with the dog down here in the Palisades Beach. Because it's not the most touristy area, it's more so for the locals. If you want more touristy part of the beach, obviously go down the Santa Monica Pier. It's not too far. You can easily run there, jog there. But in general, the Palisades, just a nice family residential neighborhood. Settle down if you have a good amount of money, because it's not cheap to live anywhere in the Palisades. You do have anything you'd need when it comes down to restaurants, such as, and they're not all in the Village as well. You have pizzeria right here, Domino's. The pizzeria I'm talking about is Domino's, not the Vittoro right here, Vittorio. I mean, I don't have an Italian accent, not Italian, so maybe said that wrong, but Starbucks over here, and then as we look in the Village, this is where you're going to be doing everything in the Palisades. You're not really going to be wanting to go out of the Palisades if you're living in the Palisades, so that may be one of the cons. I do have a pros and cons video of the Palisades as well. This was pretty much just a map tour showing you some of the streets, showing you some of what the Palisades has to offer if you ever are planning on moving or living there in the future. Let me just show you down here where the Ralphs would be. street view of it. Just going to turn around. Down this way, this would be your commute in the Palisades. Wide streets here in the heart of town. Take this road up, and that's where the residential alphabet streets are, the narrow roads like I was saying. The pharmacy is right around here. Your local grocery stores, coffee shops, farmers market every Sunday out here as well. Everything is walking distance, which is also a great thing. It's such a small town feel. You're pretty much going to run into people that you know if you're going out to the village. It's a very, very central community and a family-oriented community. If you like that vibe, more of a small town vibe than being out in LA, you can live in West Hollywood, Santa Monica, East LA, Silver Lake area, and just LA could feel very big because there's so much to do, so many places to go, so many people to see. But if you're living in the Palisades, you will most likely run into people you know at your local coffee shops every day or your local grocery stores, and still raise a family in a clean, safe environment in the Palisades, and still be close to Santa Monica, Hollywood, all your other friends that live on all the opposite ends of LA, because Los Angeles is massive. It is huge. The Palisades is a specific community, not for everyone, but I know there are a lot of you out there probably with dreams to live in the Palisades sometime in the future. But if you learned anything about the specific neighborhoods, the areas of this video, let me know. Leave a comment, hit the like button. Just a quick map tour of the Pacific Palisades in general. Right next to Brentwood, Santa Monica, between the Santa Monica Mountains, there's everything. Something for everyone out there in the Palisades, but also it is not for everyone. So if you have any questions, let me know. Leave a comment as well. Email me if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in property in Los Angeles. My team and I help people every day look for their dream home, or just if you're wanting to get started, look for an investment property in LA. Lots of buyers in this springtime are coming out of the woodworks just ready to hop on something because they're now thinking that this recession might not be as bad as people are making it sound. And long-term real estate is always a great investment. But hit the like button, subscribe for more Los Angeles videos, home tours, videos on everything in LA on the west side here in general. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.